certain requirements and services for securing information systems. Now let's focus on the requirements. The requirements are data confidentiality, data integrity, system availability, and system configuration. Whereas, if you just look at the services, they are the authentication, authorization, auditing, and non-repudiation. The fundamental principles of security according to Atul Kahate are confidentiality, integrity, authentication, non-repudiation, access control, and availability. Basically, he has classified them into two types, namely the primary and the secondary principles. This classification helps us to understand how the attacks can be handled better. All the above principles can be explained with reference to the exchange of a message. First of all, confidentiality. Confidentiality is the state of being secret. The idea of confidentiality ensures that only the sender and the receiver of the communication must be able to access the message. Lack of confidentiality leads to the attack called interception. In other words, interception causes loss of confidentiality of the message. When sender A wants to communicate to B, whereas C intercepts the communication without the knowledge of A or B, it is possible. Next comes integrity. When the contents of the message are altered after the sender directs them, there is a possibility of loss of integrity. Loss of integrity of the message is caused by modification. So, the original message is modified by the third party. Here, the user may not know the modified message is sent to the receiver instead of the original message. Third comes authentication. Authentication deals with the proof of identity in a communication. When the legitimate parties communicate with each other, security is ensured if a proper authentication mechanism is entrusted. Authentication ensures the origin of the message. When this is compromised, it leads to an attack called fabrication. That is, instead of A sending a message to B, C may send as if it is A to B. So, lack of authentication leads to such a scenario. Next comes non-repudiation. Sender cannot disprove the claim of transferring the message. During some circumstances, the user may send the message and he may negate the same at a later point of time. Access control. The security concept of access control is to decide who has to access what. The access rights and permissions are monitored by this. Who can access what and the permissions are generally maintained in a list called access control list. Next comes availability. The concept of availability ensures that the information is available to the genuine users at all required point of time. When the principle of availability is compromised, it leads to the attack called interruption. Interruption puts the availability of the resources in danger. On the other hand, the OSI standards for security model defines the security principles in a 7-layer form. They are authentication, access control, non-repudiation, data integrity, confidentiality, assurance or availability, finally notarization or signature. According to Information Technology Promotion Agency, Japan, 5 cybersecurity principles are suggested. They are installation of newest OS and software, use of security software, usage of strong passwords, checking of sharing settings, and know what threatens the organizations and how one may be attacked. There is no single solution that exists to solve or evade the issues that outbreak the information systems and their security. Because technology has altered our daily life and the style of working, and different people are using different types of modes of operations in conducting businesses, and even the government organizations have changed. Therefore, information systems have become the core component of all other systems. Securing the information system is much more a challenging task due to the advancements and the developments in the technology. Information systems require strict controls as they are vulnerable to cyber attacks, and the controls are required to countermeasure. There is a 3-step approach available to ensure security. They are threat identification, establishing controls, and performing audits. Some of the topics are discussed in detail in the forthcoming sections. The initial step to be taken for securing information system is identifying the threats. This step uncovers the problems that require serious attention. The second step is establishing the controls, both general as well as application oriented. The last and the final step is to discover the security breach. Audits are generally performed to ensure the effectiveness of the controls. The role of auditing is to safeguard corporate assets, and it maintains the integrity of data that are stored and communicated, support corporate objectives effectively, and operate efficiently. This module has helped to understand the basics of information systems, how important they are to an organization, and what are the major challenges information systems face today, especially in terms of security. Next, what are the security principles and how they ensure the safe handling of information systems is deliberated in this module. We'll discuss with much more details regarding why security is very important for the organization in the next module. Thank you.